I'm here at Milwaukee Pipeline in 2022. Great to be back at Milwaukee for an in-person event. And one of the big things we noticed when we walked in was they had the M18 carry-on. Yes, this is a power station made by Milwaukee, and it runs on 4 of their M18 batteries. In fact, it requires 4 of the M18 batteries, but you can run any size battery you want to. It is going to output based on that lowest amp hour battery that you do install, so it does matter which of the packs you're adding to this. But the cool thing about this is when you're not using it to actually power something, if you actually plug this into an extension cord, it will act as a charger as well, charging all 4 packs at the same time with 3 amps to each pack. So tremendous charger as well as power output, 3,600 watts peak out and 1,800 watts sustained out. And by the way, we got many more tools we're about to talk about, so let's get started. These are the new flex head ratchets from Milwaukee. Here's the 3/8 drive. It is a locking, flexing head, so we can position it wherever we want to. We can leave it free, or we can put it in the lock position to lock in whatever angle we want. You can see we get full 180 degrees of motion from the flexible head, actually a little more than that. And they have this in the extended reach version as well as the standard reach version in 1/4 inch, 3/8, and even 1/2 inch. So these will be available later this year, so be sure to check them out. We'll let you know when they are as well as pricing. You may have already seen our review of the M18 polishers, which are great polishers, but at the show here, we found that they are also releasing pads. So they have their own pads in 5-inch and 6-inch in black and red. So red's going to be correction, a denser foam, and your black's going to be polish, which is a little bit softer foam. And again, you can get these in 5-inch or 6-inch. In the 5-inch, you can get them in a 2-piece kit. It's going to run you about $25, or individually, the 5 or the 6-inch are going to run you about $13 each. Also, you can get the 5 or 6-inch backing plates as well. And the question has been, can you run the 5-inch backing plate on the 21mm polisher? And that is absolutely yes, you can. You can switch these out, or you can buy the new backing plates, so you can do that. As well as these pads are weighted specifically to the counterweight or the counterbalance on the oscillation or on the dual action of the polisher, so it minimizes the vibration when you're using their pads. Okay, we've got another new light from Milwaukee. Now, we just covered mechanics lights from Milwaukee and didn't have this one because this is brand new here at the Pipeline event. And this is their micro USB, or I'm sorry, this is their USB red lithium stick light. So this is up to 550 lumen. And you see I have a power button that controls that. We get a little flashlight out the end. And so we can run it in just the flashlight mode. I can hit the mode button, and that will change it to the beam on the bottom. Hit the mode again, change it to the beam on the top, and then hit the mode again. And I kind of get that 360 degrees and 550 lumens of light. Now, it's powered by the USB red lithium cell. And we can either use the magnet base, stick it on anything ferrous metal. We can also use the integrated hook to hang it from, or we can obviously hold it in our hand. We get full pivot almost or more than 180 degrees. And again, we get the light from either side as well as on the end. And here's the really cool thing. You see we have a couple of tabs here, right here on the side. We can just take this whole light, we can put it there on the charger, magnetically sticks to the charger and charges this, and it will also charge an additional USB red lithium battery. Now, the cool thing about this charger is if you have a battery on here charging and then you put the light on there, it's going to prioritize the light and charge it first before it charges the battery. So that's pretty cool technology there, but really cool magnetic base here, as well as the magnetic base on the light. Now, the light by itself is going to be available for about 99 bucks, which will include the USB red lithium battery. But if you want it with the base, it's going to run you about $159. And this is the first light that's going to be USB-C compatible. So now we have a USB-C part. Most of your other Milwaukee red lithium USB lights, they've been micro USB, so now we get the USB Type-C technology. So check it out. Again, it's the USB red lithium stick light with magnet. A couple of new hand tools from Milwaukee Tool. First, we have a ball peen hammer. I've been wondering for a long time when I would get to see a ball peen hammer from Milwaukee, and we're gonna get two. We're gonna get the 16 ounce as well as the 24 ounce ball peen with nice, comfortable, ergonomic grip. So great tool for the mechanic. Gonna love that, as well as we're gonna get dead blow hammers as well in a 28 ounce as well as a 48 ounce. A couple of cool things about these dead blow hammers is, number one, again, very ergonomic, easy to hold, as well as they don't take near as much real estate on your tool bench because they don't have to lay down. We've got a nice little pad there that we can stand these up. And then we have the ball peen dead blow hammer in a 16 ounce and a 32 ounce as well. So look for these at the end of this year, the end of 2022, to be released. In the M12 world, we've got brand new batteries coming out. These are high output M12 batteries. The cool thing is the footprint has not changed. We still get the same size, same footprint, but higher output batteries. This is actually an XC 5.0. We're going to get more power and more runtime than the older 4.0 and 6.0 M12 batteries. This is the CP 2.5 high output battery, which again, same size as the old CP 2.0, but again, more power, more runtime. This is going to run you $79 and will be available in August. And the XC 5.0 is going to run $119 and will be available in November of this year. Okay, so we know since the release of the high-speed ratchets in the standard size, everybody's been asking, when are we going to see an extended reach version of the high-speed ratchets? And that's what we have today. So here is your typical M12 fuel extended reach ratchet. So a couple of things. Obviously, we get about the same length here, but if you'll notice, this is a three-piece design. We have pretty much a head system, and then we have kind of a mid-body, and then we have the main body of the ratchet, where in this is a two-piece design. So it's saving on the head size, so you can see we're going to get a lot slimmer there, fitting in the tighter areas, and then we get that high-speed ratchet versus the slower standard M12 ratchet. So we're going to get that in the 3/8 and the 1/4 inch in the extended reach high-speed ratchet. And look for these, both the 1/4 inch and the 3/8, to be released in November of this year. We've got the M18 Inflator, and we're going to take this from 47 PSI to 50. Now we've got kind of an oversized off-road wheel or an off-road tire here, and we know how long these cordless inflators take to actually pump up tires, but I'm telling you, this thing is really quick. Now first, I can go into my memory mode if we're used to kind of pumping up the same tires, and you can see there's my 50 PSI, and now all I have to do is hit this button right here. And in about 20 seconds, we've gone from 47 to 50 PSI. Now, that may not seem crazy, but we know if you've used any of the smaller inflators or the other brand inflators, that takes a long time to happen. Also, sometimes when this thing stops and it hits the 50 PSI, it will actually wait 3 seconds to make sure that has stabilized, because sometimes we'll see that drop a half a pound or a pound, and it will actually kick back on for a few seconds to make sure we're actually hitting the target we're looking for. We've definitely seen pack out starting to expand with the shockwave sockets. So in this case, we've got a 3/8 drive socket set. So several SKUs that they have that's already joined with the pack out system. However, we also have in the drawer here, we also have some shallow well sockets and basically kind of pack out inserts that you can buy as well that may not come with a pack out box, but you can insert them in your pack out system that you may already have. So several SKUs in that as well. So continually expanding the shockwave sockets, impact sockets, with the pack out system. So this is the 1/4-inch lock bolt tool with one key from Milwaukee, running on the M18 fuel platform. Makes really quick work of these lock bolts. Watch this. So it takes those 1/4-inch fasteners. So you can see I've got the fastener in there. I can slide on the lock bolt, and that quick be able to snap that off and lock this fastener into place. So trailer work, anything like that, gonna make really quick work of it. And you can order these actually today, and they'll be released on July 18th. So pretty much available right away. Okay, so we've got Milwaukee's new spark plug sockets. Now they have these in various sizes, and they also have them in a couple of different formats, meaning they have the rubber plug model, which is going to grasp that spark plug like somewhat conventional spark plug sockets do. However, they're doing it much different and with different materials, but anyway, doing it with that rubber style plug. So they've also got the magnetic version that's going to hold that with a magnet if you want that style. But with the rubber plug model, it's much different. As you can see, it will go in, it will hold that spark plug, but it doesn't hold it too much. So we've got a competitor socket here, and so that goes on really, really tight. And the problem with that, as we know, is when you're installing one of these spark plugs and you tighten it up and then you go to pull it out, well, you pull out your extension and not the socket, so then you're trying to insert it back in there, wobble it around, or take your long pliers, get in there, or maybe you have to look for your locking extension, what have you. But with the Milwaukee, once we put that spark plug in there and we tighten it down, I can pull it out with no problem whatsoever. Now, something additional to this that's going to give it even more strength on that pulling is that I didn't even have the pin detent in the correct location, but as you can see, they have a complete through hole right here. If we put that pin detent ball right there in that hole, it's going to have even more power to pull that socket out. But I thought it's really cool that their rubber plug in there is grabbing it just enough to hold that socket and retain that socket in place, but not too much to where you can't get that socket out of the hole. The cool thing about this is the rubber that they're using in here and the plastic that they're using in here, they have tested against corrosive materials like transmission fluids, brake cleaners, gasoline, things like that. It's not going to cause that to swell or to get slick. It's going to retain its shape so that, again, it can be used over and over to pull that spark plug out or to actually pull the socket out as it's supposed to. So we'll test it here on pulling this spark plug out, make sure it's got enough holding power to do so. And there we have it. So it's going to retain that spark plug, but again, to pull it off, very easy to do. Look for these to hit the shelves sometime in November. Again, it's the Milwaukee hand tools or the Milwaukee spark plug sockets. We've got the new M12 Fuel detail sander. So obviously M12 Fuel technology, we get a brushless motor and lithium ion battery. Cool design here. We get 4 different orbit speeds. So this is actually a dual orbit, kind of like a polisher, but obviously a dual orbit sander, but it's not a multi-tool. So a lot of people, you see the pads put on their multi-tools, not the same, because a multi-tool just kind of has a directional back and forth. This is a true orbit, 1.5 millimeter orbit, so very small orbit for those details. So we can put our pad on, or our sanding paper on, which, by the way, Milwaukee has that as well, from 80 to 400 grit, and we can get the speed we want and be very aggressive in speed 4, or we can back that down to 8,000 orbits per minute, and we can get in those tight corners if we need to wherever we need to get to. And by the way, this is going to release in August, and it's going to be $149 for the bare tool, and we get a variable speed throttle as well, or trigger as well, so we can ease in to wherever we need to go. And then the speeds is going to give our max OPM, or our max oscillations per minute, which again is 8,000 in low, and then 10,000, 12,000, and 14,000 oscillations per minute. We can also index this pad every 45 degrees as well if you need to get in those crazy areas where it's just kind of hard to get too straight on. So look for these. in August, and they also sell an interface pad for those softer contours, and again, the sandpaper as well. By the way, we'll follow up with more details on all these tools, pricing, release dates, and everything else that maybe we didn't get to. So be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. And if you don't mind, would you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already? Have a great day and keep smiling.